is a brief history of Phalanx. Phalanx? Phalanx. Phalanx. It's May in 1991, and Phalanx is released for the Sharp X68000 personal computer. However, publisher Kimco had different plans. Over a year after initial release, Kimco would port Phalanx to the Super Nintendo. This would not only further expand the game in the Japanese markets, but it would also be released in North America and European markets as well. So what exactly is Phalanx? Well, it's a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, or shmup, depending on what you like to call them. Action is spread across 8 stages, with some bosses in between. You have multiple power-ups you can choose from, and to your benefit, you can actually take more than one hit, starting with 3 hits per life. Fundamentally, there aren't any differences between the ports on the Super Nintendo versus the original Sharp version. However, the soundtrack is entirely different. Here's a comparison between both games on the same exact level. As a final note, I'd be insane if I did not talk about the cover art for Phalanx. Long story short, the marketing company in charge of the Kimco account, who's regularly responsible for importing hundreds of games, needed to come up with a new marketing strategy to make the game stand out. In an interview with Destructoid, the marketing team was asked why they would pick a cover with a hillbilly on it to represent a game about a spaceship that shoots things. They replied, in quote, "Keith called this kind of thing the heavy huh factor. If we couldn't do anything else, we'd try to get the potential purchaser to stare at the package and try to figure out what just happened. Today it might be called a WTF moment." The man in question was actually named Bertil Valley. He was a volunteer mall Santa for over 25 years and owned his own construction company. And believe it or not, he has the nickname of the Phalanx Feller. The game would go on to garner above average reviews, yet it was noted as being nothing special. In the 1993 issue of SNES Force, they went on to say, it was unoriginal and frustrating gameplay, saved only by clean, sharp graphics. So, what did you think? Are you going to take a trip through this bullet hell? Let's see what everybody on the podcast thought this week.
Man, definitely a weird box art. Absolutely. Welcome in, everybody.
I wanted to thank Kimco for using my great uncle's picture on their cover art.
Some great stuff.
I have that box, and I still remember where I bought this game, but it's like I remember seeing that on the shelf, and it does give you the like you want to pick it up and be like, what is that?
What is this?
You want to at least look at the back of it, right? Because the front is like, yeah, what is this? A game about a hillbilly? Like,
right?
You want to look at it.
It tells you literally zero about the game. The cover art.
I know.
I noticed that. Yeah,
a little intriguing. Isn't that a little intriguing that you're like, what the F could this possibly be?
I also want to point out the 2 comparisons of the soundtrack. I preferred the first one.
Really,
the
Sharp
good
version, the Sharp X68000.
Yeah, it sounded really good.
Station.
Right.
I will say both. Listening through both of them, because I did go back and listen through that one too. I don't know who actually composed these. I kind of want to look that up, but they both do a really good use of bass. Like if you crank these up, or if you have like a decent subwoofer in your system, it sounds great. I love both the soundtracks to both of those games. So
real quick, we got some. We got Lady Nova Star is over here on TikTok as well. Thank you so much for hanging out over there. I can't see anything in the chat here at the moment, but yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, you field TikTok stuff because I'm not looking at TikTok. So let me know if there's questions on TikTok. I'll look here.
Thomas Retro Gamer also just stopped in. How is everybody doing? He asked. Thank you so much for stopping in there, brother. Absolutely. We played Phalanx. Is that how you said it's pronounced? Phalanx?
I think it's Phalanx. Yeah.
I don't think anybody knows.
Nobody knows.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter is the question.
It's like wash your sister sauce.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
I would never call it that, but if each their own.
But anyway, yes, definitely pretty good. I personally feel definitely a pretty good bullet hell game this week. I enjoyed it. you know.
Yeah, it's. I was curious what everybody was going to think about it because usually I would make the argument. It's like bullet hells are not really my thing either. So for some reason, this was a game back in the day that definitely stood out to me, and I enjoyed it. I do think visually, it is a very good looking game. Like the backgrounds,
Yeah.
transitions between levels and stuff like that. Like I think overall effects wise, it looks really good.
So Thomas Retro, I'm sorry, Shadowloo. Thomas
go for
Retro
it.
Gamer over on TikTok says, I do have a question about the box art. We were just talking about that. He says,
Yeah.
why is there an old man on the SNES case? We the opening yeah.
I was going to say the same reason it made you ask that question is exactly why they put it on the box art. And so you go, what the hell is this thing?
Yeah, it's a way of pulling. It was a way of pulling people in, so you can kind of look at the box and actually have it in your hand. Now it's like, wait a minute, what the heck is this? Why is this old man on the box?
Well, and you know what's really interesting is other parts of that interview, not to get hung up on the box art, because I feel like we could talk about that for an hour, but there are other parts of the interview that kind of explain, they're like, look, Kimco alone is responsible for like importing hundreds of games, some good, some bad, some whatever. They just have to, they're trying to bring games over that were big somewhere else or already done somewhere else, slap, some marketing on it and sell it. And so they said, I mean, literally, while you're releasing these things, you're in a magazine, like a Walmart catalog with tens, if not, well over 100 other titles. You need to have something to make it pop, something to make it stand out and go, what the heck is that?
Absolutely.
And that was their strategy with this game for sure. It popped into one of their heads and they're like, let's do it. Why they found that guy, I don't know. Or specifically that guy, I'm not sure, but yeah, they found him.
No, I know, Slow-Mo, you said you didn't have any gameplay to show us, but do you want to give us your personal opinion about the game?
First of all, Adobe sucks. Don't come at me for that. I was having severe Adobe issues today.
Everybody.
Like I said in the last week's episode when this game was chosen, I do really enjoy these games, but not like it's not anything that I have ever desired to sit down and just play through an entire bullet hell shoot 'em up game. Like I'll play them from time to time when I want to kill time and I don't feel like focusing on anything and just play a game. Same thing with beat 'em ups. I love them too, but I don't play them all the time. It's not something I have any desire to ever like sit down and try to beat. And this game was exactly that. Like it was fun. It was fun. It was fun for what I played. I enjoyed it, but I had no desire to beat this game. Like it's not something that
and that's
if I don't beat this game, I'm gonna regret everything I've ever done. It's just it's fun to play, and I'll play it again probably, but I'm not gonna dedicate 15 hours to it to try to beat this game.
It's tough because I kind of make the argument that I'm like there are a few genres of games that I think are alienating to the point to where it's basically like. You're either gonna like it or you're not, and I think like shmups are one of those genres. Like it's either for you and you enjoy that type of game, or it's like you won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I think sports games fall in that category too. There's a lot of people who don't care about sports games at all. Other people, that's the only thing they play. Right?
I'm a firm believer that the only sport game that matters is NBA Jam.
I mean, like if you really want to consider that like a
NBA Jam was great, and the other one I could think of that I feel was
Mutant Football League.
NBA Mutant Hockey and football were great, but I was gonna say the first NBA Street for PlayStation 2 was a great one as well. Blitz was always great, but yes, I'm one of those people to where it's like unless I'm just literally just throwing something random up. There you go. I most of the time won't play any of the sports titles.
Yeah. So that many sports games.
So the point I was kind of getting at here is like I get it that you're like I like to mess around with it, but like I don't have a desire to like beat this thing. It's the same thing for me for Blitz. It's like it's fun to play Blitz every once in a while. Do I want to sit down and like constantly try to destroy AI and Blitz? No, I do not. I don't care to do that. So I would not have expected any of you to necessarily have beaten this, and that's why I said at the beginning, I'm like there are cheat codes you could use. I'm like. If you wanted to just get through it to see the levels, like Yeah, cheat. Just see everything. Get through it. Have fun with it.
The art of the game is good. The graphics, the sound, it sounds good. It plays good.
I really
Like I
enjoyed
said,
that.
it just-
I really enjoyed that background and foreground thing you were talking about last week, Shadowloos. That I saw that, and there was a couple times where it's like, man, I really hope I'm not going to run into anything because there is stuff going in front of the screen right now.
Yeah, they've got some interesting use of like parallax scrolling.
Yeah.
Especially, they kind of hit you out of the park with that right away at the beginning too, because the very first level you start in the clouds, and it's like you're going for a while, and you're thinking like, oh, this level's just in the clouds,
Yeah.
whatever. And then you basically hit the halfway point, and you start transitioning through the clouds, which
Yeah.
you fight people in the transition, and then you transition underneath the clouds, and you kind of have this like Blade Runner-y landscape, of
Yeah.
city, industry, whatever. So there's a lot of stuff like that, and I'm like, I love it. It looks so good. There's a part of me that wishes I could just fly through this game and look at the art and not
Right.
not have everything flying at me. But
Griff says
Oh.
level 1, shooting left, level 2, or shooting left, level 2, shooting right, level 3, shoot in every direction.
So that
Yeah.
was one of the only gripes that I had. Was the controls were clean. The power-ups were pretty great once I actually had them figured out, because my first playthrough, I think I got to like level 4 and I lost everything, and it was like I forgot that there was a button to switch fire modes. So and then
between
once
your
you use the
different
bomb,
weapons, yeah.
once you use the bomb button, you lose that power because you use that bomb button for that specific thing. There's
Yeah.
only one power up that you have that lets you shoot backwards. You cannot shoot backwards on most of these levels, and that was one of the only things I didn't like, because there were a lot of times where there's shit coming from you behind, and it's like you literally have to dodge until they get in front of you because you just can't shoot left.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Yeah, the laser is like by far my favorite. I think
Yeah.
the laser is like, oh yeah, that thing wrecks face. The other one, that the charge shot is pretty good too.
It's nice, but it's very annoying the fact you have to charge up every shot.
Yeah, it doesn't auto charge. It's no Mega Man X, is what you're telling me.
Right. So,
yeah. I don't know.
well,
I
if
mean,
if you get level 4 on the original straight shooter, that's actually pretty powerful too. Like I got to the final boss, and I had to restart the game like 3 or 4 times, and I finally made it to the final boss, and I had enough power, because it gives you one of those areas where you're flying through and there's a lot of clouds, so you have to literally fly through the clouds and hope you pick up a pickup any of the power-ups. And I was able to get the power-ups for at least the original shot, and it shoots 4 of them, so it's really powerful. But it's like as soon as you die, everything goes back to 0, man.
So let me ask you this: did any of you guys find any of the secret levels?
Oh yeah.
You did? Okay.
I barely found the regular levels. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Once like I said, I think I restarted this like 3 or 4 different times once I lost all my continues. But the more I played, the farther I got. So I finally got to the final level, and there was a couple levels where you can see they're almost like little shafts that has like a little reticle on it, to where if you fly into that, it goes into like almost like a side. I thought that was pretty cool. It was very, very innovative.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that like Star Fox secret exit kind of functionality that you can have.
Speaking of Star Fox, Griff said, is Star Fox considered a bullet hell? And then whoever is in charge of the First Round Showdown podcast YouTube channel said, actually, I believe Star Fox is considered trash. I don't know who said that. Somebody did. Somebody said it.
Interesting.
Somebody said it.
Well,
don't tell Mr. Gamer Guy that, man. He plays that all the time. Actually, he's pretty good at it too. So
I mean, whoever is on the First Round Showdown leaving these comments probably will tell him.
So I will say this. Just on the topic of like shmups in general, just like shooting, piloting games, whatever. The original Star Fox I love for so many reasons. The soundtrack is another one of those things that's like really, really good on there. But I will be the first to admit that is a game where gameplay does not hold up. And for people who love it, it is complete nostalgia bias. I will tell you that you're wrong all day, every day, and that's not a great game.
I have seen you stream this, and 12 minutes in, you were like, I have the worst headache I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. I will tell you straight up, Star Fox 64 is exactly what that game should have been. I almost wish they would have skipped entirely. I don't know. I kind of take that back, because without it, we sort of wouldn't have the FX chip. And without the FX chip, you wouldn't have like Yoshi's Island and stuff. So maybe Star Fox needed to take the fall so we could get Yoshi's Island. But Star Fox 64 is just like fundamentally such a better better Star Fox game. It's like, just skip Star Fox 1 and 2 is like it didn't need to come out. Nintendo made the right choice skipping that. They didn't need that. Star Fox 64 is best.
It's not often that I see a IP from Nintendo that I'm glad to see fail.
Well,
Star Fox is one of them.
That's not what I said. I'm not glad to see it fail.
No, I personally am glad that Nintendo's like, you know what? We don't need it anymore.
There you go.
What did they do? I mean, what did like Star Fox murder your family or something? What happened? What did Star Fox do to you?
Just made bad games.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I have gameplay if you want to go ahead and put it up there, and I'll kind of talk about my feelings about it. Not too bad.
Yeah, let's see it.
Volume shouldn't be too bad. So like I said, the game was pretty it was pretty fresh all the way across. Was there 4 or 5 different types of weapons you can use, and you can kind of burn through them as you go. Like I said, the bosses, every single boss was completely different. You either had that thud noise, which indicated that you were actually making a good hit, or it was almost like a metal sound, and it flashed blue whenever you're hitting something and it's not doing any damage. And actually, here's one of those secret spots right there, that little square you see go in there. So I really enjoyed the background, the foreground was pretty great. All of the enemies on here were fast, dude. Like, most of them were fast. You had to move out of the way for the most part and see what their movement. It's just like anything else. You have to figure out what their movements are. This room right here, this level right here, which is the second level halfway through, it gets so close quarters. You literally have to either be in first or second speed, because if you go any faster than that, you're smashing into wall. And that's actually one of the reasons why I had to restart 2 or 3 times, even losing most of my lives on the second level, is because it's so close quarters. You literally have to pay attention to what you're doing. I really enjoyed this level. This was the I don't know, the destroyer or something like that, whatever it was called. You actually had to go inside of the ship to destroy from the inside. This is one of the complaints I will have. There were certain spots, like that part where the glass was coming to you. Sometimes it was literally cheap shots. Like, if your weapon wasn't powerful enough to actually destroy those glass, you literally had to just run into them and get to the other side, because you just lost damage no matter what you did. Each level, there was a lot of stuff going on. You really had to pay attention to a lot of different things. All the bosses seemed pretty straightforward. Not too bad once you figured out what their movements were. And the final boss right here, after I got done because they had the 2 eggs, the first one in the front literally made it to where they followed you exactly. So literally right here, when I restarted, I literally had to just take the hits and get right into it, and just and almost lose like 4 or 5 different lives, and literally just get right in front of the damn thing and hope that I had enough lives to actually do enough damage. You'll see right here, I got tired of it because I was going up and down. I'm like, you know what, let me just get right up here, and I'm just going to try to do whatever I can. So I'm just like, let me get in front of this thing's face. I lose like 3 different lives, and then I finally finish the damn thing. I'm like, I'm so tired of these damn things, dude. Literally right on top of the thing, and then finally it gets destroyed, and I'm like, oh my god, Jesus. So I had to kind of cheese it that way, because I kept getting tired of going up and down. That one egg follows you, literally pinpoint accurate. So pretty great game. The soundtrack was pretty great, like you said. The bass was definitely there. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty great game all the way around. Like I said, I think I had to restart it either 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, this is definitely not a game that I would expect anybody to like just kind of blow through it on their first go.
Right.
There's no way. If you are, it's like all you play is shmups, and I get it,
Yep.
but like it's I don't know. It's an interesting like playthrough, because when you look at it, it's like, yeah, there's 8 levels. The levels in themselves aren't particularly long, so if
no.
kind of have an idea of what to do, like you'll be able to navigate through it just fine.
Yeah,
And
and like I said, the more I like the couple times when I had to continue or restart from the beginning, I got farther and farther because it's like you remember, okay, well this enemy does this, I'm gonna do this different, I'm gonna do that different. Now that I know what they do, I can kind of figure out what I'm gonna do. So
yeah,
but yeah.
Diablo
Pretty
wants to
great
know,
pick. Pretty
did
great
any of
pick
you
all the way
stream
around.
this on TikTok?
I was going to, and I did not.
No, I did
There
not.
you go.
As a
I
matter
have
of fact,
before. I have
Yep.
before.
Okay.
So it was not. I mean, not on the First Round channel, but I've streamed it on mine. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
It would have been the shortest stream if I had streamed it because, like I said, these are not games that I can sit down and just play for hours. Like 30, 45 minutes, I'm good. And then after that, I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't need
I'm
anymore.
done.
Absolutely. Also, you guys, if you are following Diablo on TikTok, he actually has everything set up to where he is going to start streaming soon. So we're definitely gonna have to go over there and show him some support as well. But yeah, we'll see how things go. So let's
Depends on what he's streaming. If he's streaming Sonic, I'm not going.
So what do you think about the game, Shadowloose? This was your pick, man.
He loves it.
Well, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Like, so the thing is, I do like this game a lot. This was a nostalgic. I have nostalgia bias. I've said that. I'll be the first step is admitting you have nostalgia bias. And so I do. I bought this from it was a movie rental store in Prescott, Arizona. It was one of those like it's gone through its cycle. It ain't renting anymore. We got to sell it. And I bought it with I think 3 other games. Alien 3 was one of those. Dr. Frankenstein was one, or I think it's just Dr. Franken. It was Dr. Franken, Phantom 2054 or something, and then Phalanx. They all had boxes, they all had manuals, and they were all $3. So
nice.
Ended up
He is speaking about Phantom 2040.
There you go. Phantom 2040.
Nice. Look at him. Look at him with the high class plastic box. Look at him with the high class plastic covers.
I put him on all my games.
He's moving up, man.
I spent the money to do this, and it was the worst decision. Like, I love that they're on there now, but like folding them all and putting the games in the boxes was a nightmare.
You've got the slips. They're kind of like a plasticky slip that they go on, huh? Those ones. Yeah. I still have the universal game cases. I've got them in there, but like these things are awesome. It's so annoying that they don't make these anymore because these are basically the rental cases that you can. You can see there's the video rental.
I think depending on what you get, Limited Run Games does those. Limited Run. I think they do some type of clamshell.
But only for those games that they're releasing.
Yeah.
Like he's talking about like blank copies.
Oh, actual blank copy.
Yeah.
And then that's what he did with his. He got a bunch of blank copies and made the labels.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, that's what sucks. There's a site called the Cover Project, and the Cover Project was just everybody made custom projects custom covers fitting a template. And then you could buy those cases and download, print whatever templates you wanted and contribute or just whatever. But yeah, they stopped making them. They were called Universal Game Cases. They were like UGCs, and the company that primarily made them stopped making them. And I've got a brand new box of 100 of them sitting in my closet. So I will maybe use them. I will maybe not use them. Who knows? But they're there.
I don't know. For a long time, I was actually looking for. I know people do it on Etsy, and you could probably get a case, 5 or 6 of them for I don't know what the price is, but I was looking for some Sega Saturn and Sega CD replacement long box clamshells because those things are just so tough to keep in good condition because the pieces pop off, the hinges pop off. It's just tough, man.
Well, and that's what the reason I went with these is because I'm like, I've got a lot of original boxes. I mean, Genesis boxes are basically those, like the way they came. But all the Super Nintendo stuff, Nintendo was dumb with making everything cardboard.
Yeah.
And so all of my boxes, I've got them in like bins. and then I chucked all the games there to be on the shelf because then I'm like, if those bang around, I don't care. They'll be fine.
You know, I think what it was is they made everything cardboard, so they didn't have to spend a bunch of money on production, and then they just made a bunch of money off the games.
That sounds
sounds about accurate.
Japanese businessman mentality.
They're like, let's go cheap, so we don't have to
keep licking those boots, Slow-mo.
So do we want to rate this one?
I think I'm ready.
Think you know where you're at?
Ready? I think so.
Alrighty. Well then, let's do it. All right. As you can see, I put Phalanx in the B category. There's no indicator of how I felt about the game. In that case, I give it a B.
B's nuts. So
like I said, like it was fun, but it's not something I would play all the time. Like I would play it again, so that's why it's not in the C category. But it's not something that I would play like frequently.
So this is kind of where I struggle with it because again, I think it falls into that alienating category. Like to be completely honest, if there was somebody out there that loved shmups, that was their main thing. That's the thing they enjoyed playing most, and they're very happy with it. This is a very decent shoot 'em up, especially bullet hell. If you want to, shove it into that category a little bit, like in my opinion, I think this would be like in an A tier for that kind of player. However, if it's not your jam, and you're not a big shmup person and you just want to try it out from the get-go and play it, it's your first time around, I definitely think it's something that is very comfortable, like in a B category. When you look at it, there's nothing broken about the game. The game plays exactly fine. The music's great. Visually, it's great. Is it, difficulty? I wouldn't even necessarily say there's a difficulty spike because I think it's just kind of all difficult in a way. But, there are some difficulty settings if you want that. There are, cheats if you really want to cheat. So there are some things there that help balance that out if you just kind of want to play the game. And I think to the average Joe Schmo like me, it sits comfortably nice in the B category with the white picket fence and, the rocking chair out front. If you like shmups, I definitely think it's up a little bit more in quality. It's probably in the A, especially considering I challenge you to consider other shmups out in that era on things like the Super Nintendo and even the Genesis. Because you brought up R-Type, Super R-Type, which I know a lot of people like Super R-Type, but man, is that game, in my opinion, way more brutal than this because it is a one-hit death. And it's very easy to game over in that game. And when you game over, you're starting over, So, like the fact that there are continues and everything else in this, I think it's an A for a shmup guy. It's probably a B generalized and overall. So that's my long answer to a short question. That sounds
good to me. I definitely say a B on this one as well. Like you said, the gameplay was very fresh, very clean. Soundtrack was pretty great. Each level had its own soundtrack. The sprites look great. Every level had their own set of certain type of enemies. They didn't reuse any of the enemies on any of the later levels. I thought that was really great. All of the boss fights was pretty great. Obviously it's more difficult if you don't know what you're looking for. Literally, the beginning of each fight, you're literally just shooting around anywhere just to find out where the weak spot is. I take it there's a little bit of a story, but I guess you would pull that from the opening or whatever. Other than that, throughout the whole game, it literally just shows you mission 2, mission, the name of the mission, and like it shows your character in, or whatever, mission 3, mission 4, mission 5. There's really not a big story. And like you said, an overall, if it was a shoot 'em up type of, list, where I definitely say it would be an A with the rendition of not having a story. Because everything was fresh about it. The gameplay was fresh. Everything seemed pretty great. It was very clean. I didn't see any lagging or anything. But overall, being, all these different types of games, I'm definitely going to say B.
I think B is a very comfortable spot for it.
So I will say, interestingly enough, this game was also reported to the GBA. So if you're a GBA guy and you like to have a shmup in your pocket,
Wow.
That almost sounds derogatory to me.
I wonder
But,
how the gameplay
yeah.
on that is.
You know what? Like it's a very favorable port. It sounds like they had to redo the soundtrack, but the soundtrack is the same as the Super Nintendo one. So it's
Okay.
just, GBA-ish in that fashion. But I mean it's the same game. It looks great.
Yeah.
Overall, I was gonna say for the SNES, I think this is not that expensive of a game to pick up. Wow, it's a little more valuable than I thought. But it looks like you can pick up the cart for around $30 on eBay quite regularly. So
Not bad.
yeah, it's I don't know. I doubt Slow-Mo would ever pay $30 for this, but
Murdo says, "Is that a shmup in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?"
There you go. There we go.
Yep.
So.
He also said I have no nostalgia bias for it, and he thought it was really good. So there's a fan.
Nice.
But
Definitely good stuff. Is there any trivia or anything, or ever any informational stuff, or
a
do you
lot
want
of
to just do like random gaming trivia to fill in a little bit of?
I was gonna say a lot of the trivia that I found was all like cover bait. It's everybody talking about the cover
Oh yeah.
for this game. And you know what's really interesting is apparently it's quite normal to be ranked on the top list for the worst cover art of all time. But I think it's so funny because like I feel like it should also be noted as the most successful cover art of all time because it did exactly what the marketing team wanted it to do.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting dynamic how that works out. For art wise, it's nothing insane.
It's the best worst cover art of all time.
But the idea, it worked perfectly for what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, so I would say the best worst cover art of all time. So I think that's great.
You know what made it better? That guy on the front, and then the entire soundtrack is just banjo music.
Yeah.
What's interesting about that is
that would definitely be a weird mashup.
It's not even really the first. I mean, maybe it is the first, but it's like that whole idea of like a banjo-y country bumpkin kind of person and like space travel thing. I mean, Outer Wilds just did that, and Outer Wilds is a phenomenal game. All the aliens are these kind of like country that they got a banjo and little drum, and they're all in space. They're aliens in space, and so it's kind of weird that sort of parallel, that comparison. I don't know why those things mesh somewhat well. It's kind of eclectic in a way. So I don't know. Anyway, who cares?
I feel like banjo music and a shoot 'em up would, pair perfectly together because they're both chaotic.
What's the technical term for play? It's not even a technical term, but the term for is it plucking? You're plucking the banjo or play?
Yeah,
whatever.
I think so.
Yeah, so that's what it's like. I could imagine. I would love, how they do ROM hacks or whatever. Somebody should just do like a high, fast-paced plucking cover of all the songs.
Look how great it was in the Earthworm Jim on the Andy Asteroid levels.
Oh
it fits. It fits.
Yeah.
It's perfect for a beat. It's perfect for a shoot 'em up. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Definitely works for the racing, for the Andy Asteroids. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah. The Phalanx feller would approve of that. Unfortunately, the guy died in 2004. So the guy that was on the cover, he passed away. It was
Phalanx
mall Santa for 25 plus years, and he had a construction company for 20 years. He just happened to be a guy that's on the cover of a Super Nintendo game.
Griff is just hating on everything today. He also said Earthworm Jim is terrible.
Nah.
Damn. All right. Name one good game, Griff. I bet you can't do it.
Chrono Trigger.
I said name one good game, Slow-Mo.
Quick question. Do you guys have a problem with have you guys had problems emulating the original Xbox?
I've never
emulating original Xbox.
Okay. I know most of the time we try to keep it like PlayStation 2 and before, but I just
Xbox
sure.
is PS2.
Yeah, kind of.
Speaking of, Shadowleys, what are you replacing Phalanx with?
Shoot. I already replaced it with I already replaced one with Crusader of Senti, right? I did that. That was I did.
You did.
What Well, dang. I didn't think about it because I'm a ding dong. And
Griff said Donkey Kong Country 2. That's a good game.
Ooh, I would play Donkey Kong Country 2. I know you guys already did that, right? I remember watching those streams. Do I have Bomberman 64 on there, right? I think so.
You said what?
Bomberman 64?
That's on there.
Damn. I'll have to get back to you. I don't know. I will. I'll figure it out tonight though, because that's what I have to do. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Mega Man X7. Ugh. Did you end up beating that, Griff? I saw you playing that.
Griff? No, he probably didn't. That's a terrible game.
So there's. This feels like such a generic quiz.
I mean, what can you really ask about a game that's just the same?
No,
it has no story.
I just did a Super Nintendo quiz in general, and it's kind of like,
all right.
I feel like we could 100% it.
I'll try my best. You guys know I don't know anything about it.
Chaos says it's not going to matter. The fan vote is coming.
It might be.
Uh-oh.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, we could try. Wow, the average score for this is 8 out of 15. I feel like people don't know the Super Nintendo. I feel like we could beat that. Do you want to
give it a shot? Yeah, might as well.
Okay, let's go for it. You're not even going to trigger the trivia time?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
He's like, what?
Who's hosting this thing here?
All
right. Here we go. You guys ready? Ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Yep.
This is the Super SNES trivia quiz, which doesn't make any sense because it's the Super Nintendo Entertainment System trivia quiz. Let's see here. On average, 8 out of 15 correct. Question number 1. Which of the following is not a racer from Super Mario Kart? Koopa Troopa, Bowser, Donkey Kong, or Princess Toadstool?
It is Koopa Troopa.
That I think is correct because Bowser's there, Donkey Kong's there, and Princess Toadstool is Peach, right? So they better not be like.
I have the game right here. We can look at the cover art.
But I was gonna say, I do think isn't the Koopa Troopa in there?
No, not in.
I don't think he became a player until later. You said Bowser, who?
Bowser, Donkey Kong, Princess Toadstool, and Koopa Troopa.
I know for a fact that all
see,
three of them
he
are
is.
there.
He is. So I think
he's on the art.
I think Princess Toadstool is the trick because it's Peach. It's technically. I mean, technically.
Well, her name is. I think, but that's before they started calling her Peach. That was when she was Princess Toadstool.
But it does call her Peach, right? Yeah, I think Griff's right in that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So should we? I think it's a trick. I think Princess Toadstool's a trick, even though they're the same person.
Do you want me to fire?
Wait a minute. Does the question call her Peach or Toadstool?
The question calls her Toadstool.
Oh, I don't think they started calling her Peach until like Sunshine.
Okay. We'll do Toadstool.
No, because they called her Peach in 64 because at the beginning she says Peach when she does her little letter.
We'll leave a bad review. I'll leave a bad review on this if we get that one wrong.
No wonder people are getting the answers wrong. It's only 8 out of 15.
I thought it was easy. But it's gonna kill us here. You know, what are we gonna be able to do? So next question. Here we go. What is the subtitle for the classic SNES game Contra 3? I don't know.
Alien Wars. The Alien Wars.
So there's Wars of the Universe, The Fight for the Future, Universal Soldiers, and the Alien Wars. It's Alien Wars.
Alien Wars.
You knew it. Okay, that's an easy peasy. 3. The Super Nintendo game was a collection of all 3 original Super Mario Bros. Games and Super Mario The Lost Levels for the NES.
All Stars.
What was the name of the game? Yes, Super Mario All Stars is absolutely the name of that. I won't even read the other answers. Question number 4. In the game Killer Instinct, the character Cinder was made up mostly of what element? Water, fire, ice, or grass?
Fire.
Fire.
I think.
If he's not fire, that game is dumb and should be
Right.
I was gonna say I know there is an all ice character in Killer
Yeah.
Instinct, but what's the name of that
So,
character?
so if Cinder is not fire, I suggest that we do like a cartridge burning, like books.
Oh, you think we do that? That's one of
Yeah, we
those
just
things
collect.
that we're gonna
We
pull
just
up.
go.
I think I have-
We go to door
I think
and
I have
round up
maybe
Killer
2
Instinct
or 3
cartridges
Super
and
Nintendo
burn 'em.
cartridges.
Okay. All right, let's see here. So, question number 5. In the popular RPG Chrono Trigger, which of the following is not one of Chrono's tech moves? Griff, you better be chiming in
Griff,
here.
we need Griff on this one.
Lightning, Luminaire, Confuse, or Life 2? So which one is
I feel like
not?
Life. I feel like
Luminaire.
I don't know
one.
anything
know
about
that.
this. I know Life was from Final Fantasy, so Life 2 I think is a Final Fantasy reference. But I'm not 100% sure because I don't know anything about Chrono Trigger.
So you said Luminaire is one of them, Slow-mo? Yeah. Okay, I know Lightning is. Because I think
Griff,
he has a lightning attack with his sword.
Griff, which one's not a Chrono Trigger move?
Is not one of Chrono's tech moves. I don't know if that's Confuse is the one that I'm not sure of. Confuse and Life 2. I kind of agree with the Life 2 thing.
Which one is not a Chrono tech move?
Lightning, Luminaire, Confuse, or Life 2? Which one is not one of Chrono's? Lightning, Luminaire, Confuse, or Life 2? Life 2
is from Breath of Fire.
Okay. That's good enough for me. I'm going to go with Life 2.
On Final Fantasy as well, so.
Okay. In the Final Fantasy II or Final Fantasy IV, which of the following was not a summon in the game? Asura, Leviathan, Imp, or Carbuncle? Dude, I'm not. The OG, like, Final Fantasies?
I'm going to go Leviathan.
You think it's Leviathan?
Man.
That's too big.
I don't know.
You don't think they can render it on screen?
No, I don't think they would. I think it, like most games
much.
where you can do that, it's like nothing useful ever.
Okay. You think it's all right? We'll go unless somebody else chimes in. So I'll read the question one more time and we'll move on. In the Final Fantasy II or Final Fantasy IV, depending on region, which of the following was not a summon in the game? Asura, Leviathan, Imp, or Carbuncle? Which is not. Okay, we picked Leviathan.
The only
we're gonna move on to
the recognize is Leviathan and Carbuncle, and I don't know if they were in the earlier ones. I didn't play anything before 6.
That's what I was gonna say. I know Leviathan as well, and I know Imp. I mean I know of imps in the game, but I was not aware that the imp was a summon in itself.
Right.
To me, the imp is an enemy. It's not necessarily a summon.
I'm just saying. It's Griff says Carbuncle.
Carbuncle.
So they didn't.
I think Griff probably knows better than
Griff
me.
Griff is the RPG guy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pick Carbuncle. Okay. Number 7, in the fighting game Primal Rage, what was the name of the red T-Rex? Diablos, Devil, Tyranno, or the Fire Demon?
I think it's Tyranno.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I feel like it's Diablo.
Is Tyranno or Diablos are the two that I'm thinking of?
Oh man.
Now
because there was two there was 2 T-Rexes in that. 2 T-Rexes, 2 gorillas. You know,
well, and the Diablos, I think, is the monster hunter term for those types of characters, right?
Right.
So Tyranno sounds so stupid that I think it's right.
That sounds like it could be right.
It sounds like a thing they would name in a game that kids would play in an arcade.
Yeah.
So I almost think that we're gonna go with that.
We'll go ahead and go with that. Yeah.
Again, if somebody chimes in, we'll figure that out. Okay, question number 8. There's 15 questions, so we'll go speed around here. What monster in the game Sim City can run amok and destroy your city? Godzilla, Donkey Kong, King Kong, or Bowser?
I'm
gonna go play Sim City?
Godzilla
for the Super.
It's gotta be Godzilla or King Kong. It's not gonna be Donkey Kong or Bowser because those are Nintendo.
Yeah, I don't think
IPs.
so either.
Yeah.
I mean, King Kong. It is Godzilla.
I was gonna say I would say Godzilla because he's taking over a city, so.
Godzilla, and we're saying Diablo and Sauron. So it is. They have it listed out here as Diablos. I think it's the same thing. So should we change that up?
I feel like Griff might be trying to make us lose.
Is Griff trying
that
to make us
does
lose?
Seem very Griff of him. Like that does seem like a very.
Now he's saying Bowser.
Yeah.
Well, but that's what I was trying to figure out. Is that this is also SimCity for the Super Nintendo? So did they get some special
I don't know.
licensing right to?
I don't believe
reskin
Griff
the
ever
character?
played SimCity. You can't convince
You
me that Griff
haven't?
played SimCity.
I feel like Bowser's a lie, but I'll
I
keep
would
it.
still go with Godzilla.
Look. You
Well-
know, I say go with what the audience says.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I mean, all it takes is for me to just unsub to Griff if we're wrong. So
Right?
that's okay.
Yeah, we'll just unsub. We'll all unsub to Griff.
Oh, wow.
Number 9.
Another thing Griff could be doing is Googling these right now.
He could, yeah. That's what I'm like. Are we basically getting answers? Anyways, pick Godzilla. Oh, geez, he's doubling down, dude. Okay, number 9. What is the final boss in the classic SNES game Donkey Kong Country? That would be
King K. Rool.
K. Rool. Now what's interesting is the way they have these listed out slow-mo, and they have King Koopa Rule Cruel, which no, King Cruel, K Rule, or King K Cruel. If
King
that's
K.
'cause it's-
Rool.
right, so it'd be K Rule, right?
Yeah. K period
Okay.
ROOL.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We'll do it as K Rule. Question number 10. In Super Mario World, what does the 3-up look like? A moon, a mushroom, a star, a gold mushroom. I'm pretty sure it's the moon.
The moon, yeah.
Isn't the
It's a little
isn't the
bubbly crescent moon.
yeah, isn't the star 5 a 5-up or something? The 3-up is the moon?
Yeah, I think so. The
Okay,
moon is
we'll
the
do
3-up.
We'll do moon.
Probably.
You were Mr. Super Mario World. Okay, question 11. What game has this quote? There is no knowledge that is not power. Mortal Kombat, Primal Rage, Mortal Kombat 2, or Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3? There is no knowledge that is not power.
Man,
I'm going to Mortal Kombat 3. Strictly guessing.
That was the big one for that game.
it was. I'm fine with 3. I would say 2, but I'm feeling 3 as well.
All right, we're doing 3. Question number 12. In The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, what is not a real weapon that Link can use? Arrows, spear, sword, or bombs? That would be spear.
Spear.
He doesn't have a spear.
Nope.
There is no Metroid game for SNES. True or false? I mean,
Super Metroid.
yeah.
Super
Yeah,
Metroid,
Super Metroid.
right.
I'd say false. I'm not reading that comment, Chaos.
I will. The only knowledge that hurts is the game that everybody just lost.
You lost it. Okay. 14. What was the name of Kirby's pack with 8 games included? Call Kirby All-Stars, Super Kirby, Kirby Super Pack, or Kirby Superstar?
Kirby
Superstar.
Super All-Star, right?
No, because it's
Superstar. It is Superstar. Yeah.
Superstar, yeah.
Superstar.
Yeah. How many Super Star Wars games were there for the SNES? There was 3.
3.
So I think we're gonna go
We
ahead.
still need to go through the other 2.
Gonna go ahead and submit here. This better be 100%. F off. Wait a damn minute. Oh, I think I know why we got this wrong.
What did we miss?
This is so dumb. Question number 1. Which of the following is not a racer from Super Mario Kart? We answered Princess Toadstool. The correct answer was Donkey Kong. Donkey was a playable character in Super Mario Kart 64, but Donkey Kong Jr. was the playable character in the original Mario Kart.
What?
Which I'm staring at it right now, and it is true. It is Donkey Kong Jr.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, right. It's the Junior
tough.
is kind of the like, you know, whatever kind of thing.
This is dumb. I hate this game.
Question number 2. What was the subtitle for the classic SNES game Contra 3? We answered the Alien Wars. That was correct. Question number 3. This Super Nintendo game was a collection of all 3 original Super Mario Bros. Games. We answered Super Mario All-Stars. That was also correct. In the game Killer Instinct, the character Cinder was made up mostly of what element? We answered fire. That was right. In the popular RPG Chrono Trigger, which of the following is not one of Chrono's tech moves? We answered Life 2. That was correct. Only 42% of people got that right. So we got it. Chrono has the tech Life, not Life 2. So apparently he does have a thing called Life, not Life 2. In the Final Fantasy 2 or Final Fantasy 4, depending on region, which of the following was not a summon in the game? We answered Carbuncle. Griff was correct with Carbuncle. Question number 7 in the fighting game Primal Rage. What is the name of the red T-Rex? We answered Diablos, and Griff was also correct on that one. He did not steer us awry.
We
Only
love you, Griff.
46%.
We didn't mean anything we said negative.
Damn. Okay, I'm starting to feel bad now. Question number 8. What monster in the game Sin City can run amok and destroy your city? We answered Bowser. And Bowser was correct. 29% of players have answered that correctly. So
That's crazy.
it said Bowser would run around, leaving flames in its path, causing destruction in your
That's
city.
crazy.
So that had to have been. I mean, that was definitely like
because
a
it was Super Nintendo, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's obviously no Bowser on the PC version of SimCity, so I could see that happening.
Pause. Griff, you cannot say honestly that you would not intentionally try to steer us wrong for laps. You can't say that's not something you would do.
For the lulz. Did it for the lulz.
You would be sitting there laughing hysterically.
Yes, hysterically
while
if we got all of them
while
wrong.
steering
Yes.
us wrong.
Yes. Question 9. What is the final boss of the classic SNES game Donkey Kong Country? We answered K. Rool. K. Rool is correct. In Super Mario World, what does the 3-up look like? We answered the moon. The moon was correct. Question 11. What game has this quote? There is no knowledge that is not power. We answered Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. That is also correct. Number 12. The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. What is not a real weapon Link can use? We answered the spear. The spear is correct. There is no Metroid game for the SNES. True or false? We answered false. That was correct. Question number 14. What was the name of the Kirby pack with 8 games included called? We answered Kirby Superstar. That was correct. And finally, how many Superstar Wars games were there for SNES? We answered 3. 3 was correct. So the only one we got
14 out
wrong,
of 15, and we missed one because they are dumb.
Yes.
I'm spinning the wheel.
See?
Yeah. There
Roll
you
it.
go.
Spinning
There
the
you go.
wheel. Well, I want to say
man.
So hold on a second. I'm a little offended because you didn't let me crown us the honor that we normally get, and that is for a fact that First Round Showdown is once again above average.
Above average.
I would like to point out Mr. Triforce 666. First time here at the live. I want to apologize for blowing your eardrums
nice.
out.
Welcome in, brother.
Because I did not adjust the volume on that video.
Nice to meet you all. Nice to meet you too. Hi. Hello.
Hide all.
Hello.
Sorry, I went crazy there. People were commenting too fast, and I couldn't click the hide button before
There you
the
go.
next comment popped up.
So I was thinking about
freedom choice.
thinking about this for a while. Been wanting to play this for a while. I know me and Slow-Mo talked about it a while ago. We're gonna do Castlevania Bloodlines for the Genesis,
which means I have to replace a game now.
Castlevania Bloodlines.
That is a game on my list. So
that was your pick. I thought that might have been mine.
Oh, really?
It was me.
No,
but
nice.
And it's okay because I'm going to replace it with Dracula X.
Oh, damn! You want to spend $1,000 on a game?
I'm not gonna buy it.
Oh, first off, you're talking about Dracula X or Rondo of Blood. Let's talk about how crappy the PSP port was and the remaster that they did. Absolute crap.
Oh, I would not know.
It was tough, dude.
So fun fact about me, the only Castlevania game that I've played all the way through, beaten, and I actually own is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So I have not played. I mean, I've played the first one, but it's not like I own it and I've intentionally tried to beat it. It's like I booted it up and I'm like, okay, I get it. So
be ready for linear side scroller Castlevania. It's the best.
So is this
best. Soundtrack
is the only one for the Genesis?
Yes.
Okay.
You get to select between 2 characters, Eric Lecard and John Morris. John Morris has the whip. Eric Lecard has a spear/staff.
Zach Morris. It's actually Zach Morris.
Zach Morris?
Zach Morris sounds like way too American. They should have just given him like a gun and a hand grenade or something and let him go.
It is John Morris. Zach Morris is the guy from Saved by the Bell.
Damn. Slow-mo.
Later Nova over at TikTok sounds happy. She said, "Let's go, heck yes." So, our Lady Nova, are you a Castlevania fan? Is anybody else a Castlevania fan in here? Symphony of the Night was absolutely amazing. Absolutely.
I did not start playing Castlevania until I want to say last year around March. I played Super Castlevania 4. And then
Nice.
I beat it right before I went on vacation. And I went on vacation and I found Symphony of the Night and I came back and played that. And now I've dabbled in some Castlevania for everything.
Nice.
Well, I'm pretty sure Slow-Mo knows how I feel about Metroidvania games after watching my Super Metroid stream.
But the thing is, like, the old Castlevania games are not Metroidvanias because they're super linear levels.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It is a more traditional
It's a level
layout.
Side-scroll platformer.
Okay. Fair enough. I will give it that. So I'm curious, like, looking at this.
This one has an
I'm going to pull up some gameplay.
Top-tier soundtrack as well.
I'm going to pull up some gameplay. Let's do that.
Yeah, do that. Do that thing.
Let's let everybody look at
it. So are all of the, I mean, not all the levels. Okay, I was going to say they're not.
And I think
all,
this one only has like 7 levels on it, 6 or 7 levels.
Okay, there's a lot of auto scroller sections in this too. Interesting.
All right.
Oh, dude, there's actually some cool effects in this though.
Let's go.
Can we just watch the long play on stream and just do that?
Right. Good stuff.
Yeah,
well, this guy must be playing it on hard because normally there's only one eye there.
Yeah, I've not seen. I've never seen this Castlevania, so this is my first time.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. I usually use John Morris, just because I like the whip better.
So is that? So what's the difference? One has a whip, one has.
So the one has a whip, one has the staff right there. That's Eric Lecard.
Okay.
So the only difference is there are a couple spots in the game where you can either go right or left, or you can go up. He can go up. If you actually hold down, he actually starts flashing, and if you do the jump or attack or something like that, he actually vaults up, so you can actually go upward on platforms. So you'll see. Hopefully you'll see some. But like I said, absolutely amazing. Amazing gameplay, amazing soundtrack, absolutely great.
Merdo says, I just got the Genesis controller for Switch today. Perfect excuse to play this now.
Nice.
I
definitely will stream this.
All of those official controllers are so good for the Switch.
I have streamed this actually.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, I have. I made it to I don't know how far I made it in this game. I think I saw this.
Not far enough. Let's put it
I made it to what appears to be like one of the last levels.
Nice.
And then I quit. The tower.
That's the third or fourth level. The Tower of Pisa. You actually fight this like giant bat thing up top.
I mean,
I was going to say that fight looked really cool.
I mean, it's 43 minutes of a 54-minute gameplay. So
there you go.
It's towards the end of the game.
Well, so there's a boss rush at the end, so you go back and play all of the bosses again. Yeah, you know how all those old school games makes you do the boss rush at the end of the game. So
I may have actually even beat that bat and then quit, like stop the stream and quit playing and just put it down.
There you go.
I didn't know how far I was in the game.
It's great. Yeah. It's definitely great. So,
well, guys, looks like it's time for us to wrap this thing up. So,
thank you guys so much for being here, Lady Nova. Thank you so much for hanging out over on TikTok. Everybody else is here. As always, we love you guys so much.
Y'all have a great night. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go see the new Twisted movie.
There you go.
I enjoy that.
I will
enjoy that.
The original Twister is like one of my all-time favorite movies.
Oh, really?
Yes, I love that movie
watch
so
that tonight in your honor. I'll
love it so much. Love it so good.
All right, that's it. We're signing off. Thank you guys so much.
See y'all.